On, the dog became sick and was dying in the kitchen area. When William saw that, he immediately accused Mary of poisoning the dog.
He started yelling at us and I got scared. All hell broke loose.
This is the corner where he was hitting her, and the fight was back here. I can hear her yelling. There's nothing we can do.
He hit her.
Last time I saw her, she had the blood coming down her mouth.
Kathy said after Mary disappeared, her parents ordered the kids to stay away from one particular area of the backyard.
I'm not supposed to come over this far.
You weren't supposed to come over here? Who told you that?
My father.
The clues were adding up, and detectives felt they could be dealing with something much more sinister than a runaway teenage girl. They brought in a team of cadaver dogs, dogs trained to find human remains.
As the dogs went into the backyard, they each hit on one particular spot near a tree. We started to dig. As a father, my heart was pounding. And as we dug, I saw a little girl's shoe. My heart started pounding even more. And I thought, here we are. We found her.
Tax season can be pretty stressful. You gotta gather all your old receipts, fill out endless forms, and somehow submit everything before that all-important deadline. And if you thought it couldn't get any more stressful, you run the risk of identity thieves somehow getting a hold of one of those tax forms with...
In 2003, the missing persons case of Mary Day was quickly becoming a homicide investigation, with police facing the grim task of digging in the dirt where the cadaver dogs alerted.
And we kept digging. And there was no body. I said, well, it must be here. And they kept digging.
They were sure that a body had been there.
They were positive. They said, you know, our dogs don't lie. And 4 of them independently, hitting on the same spot before we dug. The dog handler said, it's been moved. At this time, there was no question that the parents were the suspects in the possible homicide of a little girl from 1981. We knew that we had to find the parents.
They found them in Kansas. It was more than 20 years after Mary disappeared. Her stepfather, William Hoole, had left the Army and was now at a Kansas prison working as a corrections officer. He and Charlotte were still together. She agreed to talk with local detectives about the daughter who vanished so long ago.
You don't have whips and chains, do you?
Oh, absolutely not.
Darn.
I remember watching the interview and realizing that she had something to tell us.
You know, life is full of regrets. If you go back and say, you know, if I had did this and this and this.
Her body language and then her sinking down in her chair and saying words to the effect of, you know, sometimes you do things in your past and it comes back. I knew that there was something there.
When's the last time you heard from Mary?
81. The last time she ran away.
Charlotte said Mary running away was no big deal. She did it all the time.
Oh, what a mess. It was like trying to get a night crawler out of a wormhole, just grabbing it, it was gone, grabbing it, it was gone. I mean, how many times did she run away? You know, all these questions I can't answer.
Okay. When you was back in California, did you guys take any kind of steps to find her?
We should have. We should have.
But you didn't.
My husband said we filed a police report with the Salinas Police Department. If we did, I don't remember.
There is no record of a report.
I couldn't understand a parent, number one, not reporting their child as a runaway, but number two, treating this case, the status of their missing daughter, as basically no big deal. It didn't seem to really concern them. They were not really surprised at us being there.
Detective Bertina later questioned Mary's stepfather, William.
I just asked him, tell me about the last time that you saw Mary. He told me that, well, he was going room to room, checking eyes on the kids, and he discovered Mary wasn't in the bedroom. He tells Charlotte, she panics, he panics, called the police. And he knew I wasn't buying that. I said, William, she runs away all the time. Why did you panic? I never got a good response.
The detective pressed Houle and brought up the story of the sick dog.
And he said 5 or 6 times, you know, she did. She poisoned my dog. And I was really angry. She tried to run out of the house. I didn't want her to go, so I caught her before she got out of the front door. She was kicking me, punching me, so I pushed her. And when he's doing this, he's making
The choking?
Yeah, gesture, with his hand, and it's like a hand strike that I've seen before. It's a martial art technique. So I asked him, where did you hit her with that? And he said, well, in the upper chest. And I said, could it have been the throat? And he said, well, it may have slipped off and hit Mary in the throat. I wanted to know on a scale of 1 to 10 his anger when he had done this, when he had struck Mary. And he said, on a scale of 1 to 10, I was a 15. I said, you're this angry, I think you may have killed her. And he looked at me and said, no, I didn't kill her. But the next day, my wife Charlotte told me that that night she saw Satan in my eyes. And she said I was possessed by a demon. And then it dawned on me that he's admitting but not admitting that he killed her. And I said, okay, William, I believe you. You didn't kill her, but what about that demon inside of you? Could that demon have killed Mary? And he looked at me and said, yes, the demon could have killed her.
When he walked out, did you think you were letting a killer go?
Yeah.
Joe said, yeah, we don't have a body, but he said, this guy came so close to confessing that it was as close as he's ever had anybody come.
Is that enough to go to a prosecutor and say, I don't know if we're ever going to get the body, but we have a lot of the pieces of the puzzle?
Yeah. The DA wasn't ready to file at that time.
Did you think there was enough?
I thought there was probably enough. I was not worried, really, because I thought we are building the case here.
And then, just as the detective's confidence was growing, the case took an unexpected turn. Remember, police had no record of Mary Louise Day as an adult. There were no credit cards, no driver's license, or ID recorded anywhere. There hadn't been a trace of Mary in more than 2 decades. Until police in Phoenix, Arizona made a traffic stop.
I got a phone call. I was at home. I left work, and he told me, hey, Captain, he says, you sitting down? And I said, what happened? He said, no, he says, just got to let you know that Phoenix Police Department in Arizona pulled over a car, and they say that they found Mary Day.
What do you make of William and Charlotte's stories? Hear Charlotte's unusual response to police searching for her missing daughter on Facebook at 48 Hours.